The Great American Multiplication Challenge is an awesome way for teachers to gauge mastery of multiplication tables among students. Completely customizable, teachers can deliver problem sets in a single table or multiple tables for students to complete. Furthermore, teachers can set mastery levels in both numbers of problems answered and percentage of successful answers. Students will love this program, as you can also attach rewards to mastery achievement. So to get started, you just log into Mr. Nussbaum Extend and click on the Great American Multiplication Challenge icon. And so that's down here. Okay. So you can start off in several different ways, or you can just play around with it a little bit. But for me, the best way to begin is by clicking on the blue Mastery Settings button. So click here. Okay, and so here is where I set the criteria for what constitutes mastery of individual tables. And as you see here, I have indicated for each times tables 2 through 12. I consider students to have mastered that times table if in getting 50 problems from each timetable, they score 95% correct in each one. And you can change this however you want. You can have different percentages or different numbers of problems for different times tables. So then you click Save. And I've already done this. So once I click Save, I'm just going to resave them. Mastery Settings Save. Okay. So next it's time to deploy specific problem sets to students. From the Great American Multiplication Challenge interface, which you see right here, click the red Create Your Own button, Create Your Own Exercise button. So right here, I'm going to create my own exercise. And this window pops up. So I have to. So I'm going to name this exercise. Let's call it fives. Now I put that for students to master the fives, they'd have to get 50 problems. So, and they have to get at least 95% of those right. So I'm going to put 50 in here. Click 5. And you can click multiple tables too. You can. So if I want to do 2, 3, 4, and 5, I could do that. It would split. So if students got 50 problems, it would split them between 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. I'm just going to do 5s for right now. And then I'm going to click Save. And then so the 5s is going to come right here to the To Deploy menu. So now I'm going to click, and you see if I click on it, it reminds me of exactly what this is. So I'm going to click and drag this to the To Be Deployed space. Then I'm going to deploy it. I can deploy it to entire classes or individual students. So I'm just going to deploy this to one student right now. And I click Deploy Now. And now that student is going to be able to do their fives tables. And so let's log out and see what Gabriel Nussbaum sees. Let's log back in as him. Okay, so here's Gabriel's interface. Now, just as a reminder, some of you might have seen this version on my main website, mrnussbaum.com. On that version, there's been over 8.5 million multiplication problems answered by kids all over the world. And so I thought that bringing this over to the Extend system would add a lot of functionality for teachers who really seem to enjoy having their classes participate in the Great American Multiplication Challenge. So now I'm logged in as a student. The student that I deployed my fives to. So as a student, I click on Great American Multiplication Challenge. Here are all of the problem sets that have been deployed. The one I just deployed was 5. So I click here. And just like on mrnussbaum.com, this is the first thing the students see. This is sort of the main page, the Great American Multiplication Challenge. Now look, I can play right away, but it's probably good to have the students be able to view the stats. This is pretty neat. So up here, where it says statistics, this is the overall statistics for the entire system. So this is a brand new game. So far, all students across the system have answered 258 multiplication questions correct, and they have gotten 12 incorrect, which is 95%. They've spent a total of 7 minutes so far, so not very long. The top 5 states are, well, there's only 3 so far, Virginia and Alabama, but as more students participate, obviously these statistics will populate. Top 5 classes. So the classes from the system get ranked here too. So Nussbaum 2, and I've been using this to test this game, has gotten 186 problems right at 97%. And you see there are 2 other classes on here too. Here are the most frequently missed multiplication problems so far. And since Gabriel is in Nussbaum 2 of Virginia, here's the statistics for this particular class. View mastery stats. If I click here, it shows what tables I've mastered based on my teacher's criteria. So I've already mastered 4. I've mastered 8. I've gotten 100% on the 2s and 3s timetables, but the teacher assigned I need to have at least 50 problems shown to me, and so far that hasn't happened. So now I go back to play and watch how this works. So click start, and I just start entering answers. And so I need to get at least 50 correct. I don't have to get 50 correct. There's 50 problems that are going to be shown to me. I have to get at least 95% of them, which is about 48 correct. You see it times me also. So here I go. I'm going to have to get all of these right. I don't have to get all of them right. We're going to have to do 50 of them right now, though. So I'll go as fast as I can so this video doesn't drag on too long. I'm pretty good at my times tables. And after every answer, I just type in enter. I just hit the enter button, and I'll move to the next problem. I will attempt to get all 50 correct. Almost there. Okay, so there we go. So here, where it says my stats, it shows me what I just did. I got 50 correct, no problems missed. Now if I go back to view all statistics, you see a lot of these have just updated. So now there's 308 correct. Now if I view my mastery stats, I have a check mark next to 5. So I have successfully mastered the 5s tables. So let's go back. In the teacher view, there's a lot of good statistics to see in the grade book. So the last thing I'm going to show you is the record book for the Great American Multiplication Challenge, and so that's in purple right here. So if I click here, I think maybe the most useful stat is this first link says see mastery stats for all students. So if I click here, I can see all of my students will be listed under student. I've only tried this with a couple students, but all the check marks are going to represent mastery. So Gabriel Nussbaum, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 8 have been mastered. Will Nussbaum has mastered 8. And so this is just a useful chart. It'll grow much bigger, but you'll be able to see from a visual perspective where what students are mastering what and what times tables are causing problems for students. So if I go back, I can also sort the record book by activity. Sorry, by default it's by activity. So I click on 5s, and it just shows me a basic review of the stats here. So Gabriel Nussbaum played this one time, took a minute 23, scored 50 as a high score, and since they only took it once, it's the same average score. If I were to do this by student, I'd go to find Gabriel Nussbaum, see records, and it shows me all of the different multiplication problem sets I've done, number of times I've played them, time spent, and my high score. And also, once again, we have the mastery chart. In addition, you can attach rewards. So when you deploy a problem set to students, it will automatically show up in the rewards settings area from the rewards program. You can program students to earn magic coins, world flags, or your own classroom currency right from the rewards program. So anyway, this is a Great American Multiplication Challenge, and it's free. We're going to come out with a division challenge in the coming days. Hopefully you like the multiplication one enough that you would consider purchasing the division one, which will not be free. I'm thinking it'll be $5 or $6 a year. So anyway,